towns are the backbone of the South, and York, South Carolina is no exception. This is a town filled with history, hardship, but so much redemption. I'm James Launius, and welcome to the American Dream. Today, we're telling a story of York's past, present, and future. In this town, there's Civil War era history, there's a historic downtown we're in right now, and we're also going to show you an example of where York is heading next. But before we talk about how far York has come, we have to talk a little bit about where it has come from. Come on, let's take a stroll into York's past together. Now, this is Rose Hill Cemetery, one of the oldest and most historic places in York, South Carolina, and this entire region. This is home to generations of families, of Civil War leaders, of politicians, and people that passed away here. Now, right ahead here is one of the most visible reminders of that time period, the York County Confederate Monument. And this is obviously a very complicated part of York's past, but to tell York's story honestly, this is just something we cannot skip over. And here's another side of the story, just a few short yards away from that York County Confederate Monument. These are 8 Confederate soldier graves that passed away during this time period, dating back to the late 1800s during the Reconstruction era. And this was obviously a time of heavy federal presence, tension, and resistance throughout the entire South and the country. And unfortunately, York does have a lot of ties to the Ku Klux Klan. There's actually a lot of violence right here in this town during this Reconstruction period. And that's obviously not an easy part to talk about, but it is part of the story. But thank goodness that York's story does not end there. In fact, this is where the story starts to come alive. Just a few blocks away from that graveyard that reminds us of conflict, division, and war is a gorgeous historic downtown that is full of life, families, and a community pride that does not end. Now, one really cool piece of downtown is the Sylvia Theater. This is a landmark that shows York's commitment to restoration. After sitting unused for years, a church has recently bought this property and now features movies for free every single Monday, serving the community once again. And of course, what's a small town without a general store? York Downtown General Store brings that classic small town feel with a mix of modern and old finds. Now, every small town obviously needs its ice cream shop, and Scoops is one of those places that just feels welcoming right away. We know the owners here, we've been here several times. It has that friendly community feel that makes York feel like home. Yorkville Marketplace is another great example of York's personality. It's part boutique and part restaurant and bar, some of the best pizza in town, and it's one of those quirky little spots that gives downtown so much character. What I love about York is obviously there is so much history here, but at the same time, there is so much life. You see a historic downtown with so many buildings that have been restored, new families moving here, and a beautiful community with so much pride. York has its own pace, its own story, and now that we've seen a little bit about where York has come from and where it is right now, let's take a look at where York is heading next. Now, you might be wondering how in the world we got from a historic downtown and historic buildings to a brand new community here. Well, it's because I want to show you how much York is growing. This community is Westport by D.R. Horton, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes up the road from the historic downtown York we were just in. And this is a community that shows how you can be close to the amenities of Charlotte within 45 to 50 minutes. You can be right down the road from Lake Wylie, and you can still be really close to historic downtown York and get that quiet York County feel. This is the Tillery floor plan by D.R. Horton, and this is one of their most popular models. It flows so well, as you can see, from the open concept downstairs to the Jack and Jill bathroom above. There's nothing wrong with this model, in my opinion. And of course, we started with history, monuments, graves, and downtown buildings that have been here for generations, but now we're seeing this home and these communities with new families and new chapters being written. And that's part of what makes York so special and interesting, because it's preserving its past while still making so much room for what comes next. What a story of redemption, friends. From a town shaped by hardship, a dark past, Civil War era monuments, to this brimming town full of life, families, new communities, and a beautiful landscape here in the Carolinas. this has become one of the most sought after regions for a reason. Now, York is not perfect, no town is, but I think there's something really cool about a town that remembers where it came from while still being willing to move forward to the beautiful community it is today. Thank you so much for joining me in York, South Carolina today. I'm James Lanius, and this small town is the American dream.